Okay. Okay, proceed. I'm
So
sorry.
the stories of Jesus were written and gave rise to the New Testament, which the book became known to the Christians as the New Testament. The Jews could not write that the Romans had crucified Jesus and the truth of what happened because they were afraid of persecution and their own crucifixion by the ruthless Romans. So they wrote it up that the Jews had crucified Jesus, and ever since that day, in AD 33, the Jews have suffered persecution for deeds that they wrongly did not commit. The Jews do worship. They bind their God into giving thanks for everything nature bound. They have not forgotten the ancient gods, but just put a new name to all the new gods. The mother of Jesus, Mary, who we worship as the mother of the Lord, fertility of women, and the prophet of all women, stems from the Egyptian goddess Ishtar. And Ishtar gave rise, which goes to a much earlier deity, Enlil and Nikki, who came from another planet, emissaries of the Creator, to set life up on Earth. And there was a nurse with Millie and Mickey who ran the laboratory that created Homo sapiens from the egg of the ape man and the sperm of the ancient Sapiens, created in their life, which we are doing today with in vitro or fertility treatment.
So they were more advanced, much advanced society.
Man has acquired, is grown in man, and man has learned more. The more man learns about nature, the more that mankind will be able to reach to the stars, be able to reach out into the universe and embrace other worlds, other planets, and discover new life forms that exist in plants and animals. New human life forms. They're probably humanistic animals, humanistic plants. The early people, where did they get the idea of anthropomorphism, of animals talking, walking, and dancing? Came from the tales of the ancient visitors who gave them life here on earth, told them their tales. In fact, the book of Genesis is a collaboration of some of these old tales. But because of the Vatican, of many years, the Catholic Church came along and they wanted everyone to believe as they wanted to believe. They suppressed these beliefs and made man believe not as man wanted to believe, as man was told to believe, and wrote out many, many true things and destroyed many old documents, which held the truth, how the world was born, which would save mankind billions of dollars of going to other worlds, of creating of having to go back and study and recreate all these events that we had to know, or it may still exist in the Vatican Library. The Vatican Library is not open to anyone. I think you're allowed just 20 minutes in there, and that is it, and they just let you see just what they want you to see. Now, we all think the Pope started with St. Peter, bind civilization together. St. Peter down to the Pope to the Middle Ages were allowed to marry and have families and live normal lives. Somewhere in the Middle Ages, the Catholic Church began to realize that the Pope's children and descendants could come back on the church, wanting their vast land and vast wealth. So they passed the law and said Jesus was celibate, the Pope had to be celibate. This is a man-made law with no backing. Jesus probably was married to Mary Magdalene, and because he was married to Mary Magdalene and loved her as a man and a woman loved each other, they crucified her and made her a prostitute and wrote all kinds of untrue stories about Mary Magdalene so that people would look down upon her instead of looking up. It is unknown how many children Jesus had, We do believe that Jesus' possibility, she was pregnant when he was crucified and was smuggled out of the Holy Land and made her home in southern France somewhere. And that is where she had one daughter who probably married someone that the royal line of Europe started. And that's where the royal line of Europe, all the kings and queens said, we rule by divine right of God, as they were descendants of Jesus.
Wow, Miss Kitty, that is so interesting. Okay, we're going to stop here.
I do believe that